Mr Assistant President, I wish to speak about and pay tribute to Skyville, a site of forested areas, open grasslands and weathered buildings, and which carries a story of extraordinary Australian service. Now a national park in the Hawkesbury region, it's fulfilled many a role over the course of more than 220 years since first set aside as a public common for the people of the district in 1804. Many, perhaps not as many as should be the case, know of it as a military base, and while this is one of its most significant incarnations, its purpose from the early 1890s was in a different guise. Then a farming cooperative, it provided for the unemployed to make a living during the Depression of that time. Later a farm training centre for boys, it then supported a youth migration program created to help meet Australia's chronic shortage of farm labour. After the First World War was declared, a small prisoner of war camp was established to hold captured German seamen. During World War II, Skyville served as the base for the 73rd Searchlight Battalion prior to its deployment to New Guinea. It also became home to the 1st Australian Parachute Battalion. Command of this elite unit was given to Lieutenant Colonel John Overall, MC and Bar, veteran of Tobruk and El Alamein, my father-in-law. The battalion prepared for Operation Kingfisher, the planned rescue of some 2,500 Australian POW soldiers at Sandakan, Borneo, and later for the relief of Singapore. The parachute drop into Borneo did not eventuate. Sadly, the Sandakan death march followed, only 6 Australians surviving. After the war, Skyville became a migrant reception and training centre. Almost 2 decades later, as the Vietnam War escalated, Skyville entered yet another chapter of service. From 1965, it became the site for the National Service Officer Training Unit, OTU. The Army had created a highly rigorous 22-week program that took young men conscripted for national service to train as second lieutenants. My husband, Tim Overall, was one of them. More than 1,800 officers graduated by the end of the war in 1973. Of those, 328 served in Vietnam and 8 lost their lives there. On the 18th of August 2026, Australia will mark the 60th anniversary of the Battle of Long Tan, one of our military's defining moments. Among the fallen was 2nd Lieutenant Gordon Sharp, born in Tamworth and former Channel 7 cameraman in Bathurst and Orange. A Skyville graduate, just 70 days after arriving in Vietnam, Gordon was killed at Long Tan, the only officer to die there and the first national serviceman in that conflict. The anniversary of Long Tan will be marked with what's intended as one of the largest regimental luncheons at Skyville, with hundreds of OTU members and guests gathering to acknowledge the unique sacrifice of all national servicemen. Today, the precinct that served as the officer training unit of Skyville sits within the national park, but its story and its heritage must not be lost. Many original buildings have already disappeared and funding has been an ongoing challenge. The former Commandant's House, a circa 1900 heritage item, is in urgent need of attention. The Hunter Anzac Memorial Limited Task Force, a registered charity led by veteran and passionate advocate Mr Brett Wild, has already invested over $3 million of its own resources to protect what remains. But voluntary efforts alone cannot secure Skyville's future or ensure its ultimate protection and preservation. My call is for the New South Wales Government to continue to work with the Hunter Anzac Memorial Task Force to formally recognise the Skyville Military Precinct as a national military memorial, to provide for and support the necessary works that will see it maintained into perpetuity, and to explore adaptive uses such as veterans' crisis accommodation that will serve today's community and tomorrow's. Skyville has been a training ground for farmers, a refuge for migrants, and a crucible of military service from Gallipoli's generation to Long Tan. More than just saving old buildings, its preservation is about safeguarding Australia's living history, acknowledging veterans past, present and future, and honouring our solemn pledge that we will remember them, lest we forget.